Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris. Thank you for tuning into my channel. I am Toys again. Hello, San Dimas. But anyway, this is going to be a review of the new Blitzway set, the Bill and Ted set by Blitzway. I've been waiting for this for a while. I almost forgot that I even had it pre-ordered because it's been a little while. This set came out. I think it's out in Hong Kong, Sideshow. All the distributors here in America will probably be getting it in the next month or two. And as usual, make sure you hit the 4K option, just in case you guys aren't aware that it's in 4K. Hit it so you watch this in the true intention. And obviously, if it's not there, just give it a bit. It'll pop up. If it's not there yet, it's probably because I recently uploaded it and it's new, so just give it a chance. But like I said, this was recently released. I'm a big fan of the film. I'm an 80s kid. Those of you who watch my reviews and know me, know I'm an 80s kid. I grew up in the 80s. This is one of the films that also defined my childhood. And when Blitzway put this up for show, unveiled it at, I think, the San Diego Comic-Con, or one of the cons first. I believe it was SDCC, either a couple of years ago or something like that. And Blitzway, man, they take a while to get their figure releases out. Generally, that's because they try to perfect or get things right, or about as close to right as they can. That is going to be where some of my gripes are somewhat with this set. Even though I'm generally happy with it, there are some issues that I just fail. I just never understand why these things don't get corrected pre-production. It just kind of blows my mind to a degree. But generally happy with this set for the most part, so I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's just get into it, and I'm going to show you guys, essentially, these guys are pretty much going to stay static like this for the most part, just because it's tedious, man. Taking accessories on and off in different poses and whatnot, man, I just don't have time like I used to do that kind of stuff. There are reviewers out there that get paid to do this shit, and they will do that for you. I do not do this for money. I'm not out there to gain money from it. I do these reviews because I enjoy the hobby and for the love of it. People watch the videos. That's cool, man. I've watched some really cool people go from 10 viewers to over 200,000, in the last few years, because they're eat, sleeping, and breathing articulation and accessories. So, but then again, some haven't either. It's just the way their videos are. People like the style, and they're probably somewhat more charismatic and whatnot than other people. So, it's awesome seeing some of these people really bloom and evolve and whatnot in the hobby. But anyway, that's off topic. Let's just get into this, and we'll pan the figures, and I'll kind of point out some things that I have grievances with, and then we'll go from there. I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, so we'll start out about right here, I guess, and just kind of give you guys an overlay and a look at the head sculpts. So some of the preliminary pics that were out and that showed Ted, folks were like, oh man, what happened to the paint application, from the previous, prototype. There was actually some first prototype pics that they initially unveiled, even at SDCC, and I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but I think that initial sculpt looked a little bizarre, was off, and then I feel like they retooled it and then reissued some prototype pics because it looked a lot better. And again, I could be wrong. It may have just been, what they had put out before. I have no idea, but I thought it generally looked pretty good. And then, with this, we got it, and people were like, oh my God, some of the photos that were circulating in the groups, it's like, whoa, what the fuck happened, man? And, I can understand that to a degree. I mean, obviously those were full on. Some of the pictures that I saw were full on, face shots, like light in the face, not properly lighted, things of that nature. And that's kind of a common mistake by a lot of people. They just put a camera up to the fucking face of the figure, and they just hit play, or they hit the button to take the pic, and it's just not properly lit. And there's also a frame of mind out there that, pictures, technically paint applications should look good no matter what, in whatever lighting, and so on and so forth. And that is true to a degree, whether it's lit or not, a good paint app, should it technically look good in any lighting? Yeah, that's debatable, man. I mean, I've had some really great sculpts by people and that are incredible in the hobby, whether it's custom and, or even mainstream. But even in the custom hobby, man, I mean, they look different from light to light. And I've said this in previous videos all the time, where people will literally open up their figures in shitty warm lighting or some kind of crap, where light is like beaten down on the figure, and then they literally look at it in the box and they're like, oh my God, this looks like garbage. And then and they end up selling it or something. And then you'll see photos put out And then like proper photos lit up, or reviews like this where I try to light the figures the best I can. And then they see it and they're like, whoa, how does your figure look way better than mine all of a sudden? Is your paint app different or something? And I'm like, nah, believe it or not, it's actually not. But there, like I said, there's just all kinds of changes that can happen when you light a figure, the right way. I still don't think the sculpt is 100%, but lit right, it looks decent. You know what I mean? I do have gripes, with the tailoring on these guys. The outfits aren't as tight as they were on the prototypes. And again, I think that's just me nitpicking, because I'm used to some of the customs now. This is, classic look for me. It's going to stay that way. I don't think I have any reason to basically change this pose, at least much anyway. I think the legs are a little bit too big on the body on him. I don't recall his legs looking that thick, but I could be wrong. But like I said, could be wrong. I'm not, don't quote me on it. But overall, the details on the guitar are good. Whether or not they are spot on, I don't know, because I did not do a reference check on these. But for 1/6 scalar guitars, they look pretty good, man. Those are actually real strings on these things, and it's pretty good. I like the shirt off and around the waist. That's iconic for me. The shirt is good. Obviously, I think it's probably printed. And it's decent. Like I said, it could be tighter, more form-fitting to the body. I really had to futz this thing so it didn't look as bulky. And you're going to notice too, so if you think these look good out of the box, these aren't just like this out of the box. I had to really mess with it. And but this is the overall overlay, on Ted. And like I said, overall, man, I think it's a decent set. So as we go over here to Bill, again, had to fuss this shirt more. Still a little too bulky. Needs to be better. Just tighter fitted. It irritates me, and I'm going to tell you right now that neck collar is not going to sit like that. That's about as flush I could get it. Still a little bulky in the front. Maybe treating it, washing it or something might make it a little bit better, but that's some work you're going to have to do on your end. The sculpt on Bill is obviously way better than the sculpt on Ted. Better job, but the paint application is off though. It looks like he got a tan, which tends to be something that Blitzway does with some of their characters. The post-production paint application seems to always come out darker, which is a little irritating. It was like that a little bit with the Ghostbusters, but I generally thought that was a phenomenal set. The best Ghostbusters fucking set out there. I mean, hands down, anybody who doesn't think so is just mad because they don't have the set. I'm sorry. But anyway, there are valid gripes with that set, trust me. But it's good, man. But anyway, this paint application compared to the prototype, obviously, yeah, different, as you can see, and that's a little bit of a disappointment. The hair is not as blonde, dirty blonde as it should be. It's more brown, almost like a gray overtone to it. And this is the kind of shit that irritates me and pisses me off, guys, because when you do a sculpt, and even with this, if the sculpt was off, with this, which it is, and doesn't look as good, the paint apple is not good, I would imagine, in production, this is what some of the things I don't understand behind the scenes is that, you think you're going to these people, you're going to the factory, and you're like, what, show me the production head sculpt. I want a copy. I want a test print. I want to look at it, and then you're going to say, okay, that's not right. Do it again. And you would imagine the cost can't be that much if you're going to be really kind of retooling this, and you're just kind of working on one look to get it right. And then, okay, you make it, and then the next thing you do is say, okay, that's going to be the one we want mass produced. And then same thing with paint application. Take one head and then have it, test painted by the people that are going to be doing it, and say, nope, that's obviously not fucking right. Do it again, and then get it right. And then say, okay, this is the example we want. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's variation between this and other sets, and it's decent, man. I mean, but it could be way better, man. Like again, he's comparing this to the proto, better paint application, and then again, you lose some of the details. Obviously, they soften with the proto, but overall, it's a decent likeness still for Bill. I think it came out well. The bodies, kind of rubberized body. You get some of the veining in them too as well, which is nice. Also, but going to be a pain if you decide to pose them and whatnot. So I wouldn't keep them extended and flex poses for too long, because you'll probably crack eventually. That's why you see mine, generally straight, as you can see. Keep it a lot easier. I do like that these guys technically did wear bracelets and things of that nature when they were in the film, since that really helped cover some of the wrist joints, which really take away from the view of the piece. And here, man, again, another good job on a 1/6 scale guitar. Again, those are strings, and they are good. And then if you go in, of course, they do not have the logos. This says music, and then his, I don't even think it says anything. And again, decent job on the tailoring, man. It could be a little bit better on the shirt. That's probably the main thing that irritates the hell out of me, is the shirt on these guys is way too fucking bulky. But the fucking sculpt is good, man. It just, again, it could be a little bit better as far as Ted over here. But like I said, lit right, and not fucking flashed or with no lighting, display lighting over it. It's not a bad looking set, man. It's not a bad looking set, and I think for what you get for the retail price, which I think is $400 for the pair, it's pretty damn good, man. I think pretty damn good. So let's what we'll do is get into the accessories right now, and then maybe I'll just rotate these guys around a little bit for you. And after we do that, I think we'll close out pretty much, man. And I'll just give you guys an idea of the back of these figures and how the tailoring consists, and what I had to do to get this shirt on him to sit, you know, more flush against the neck and not be puffed out and look ridiculous. So, and then some of you may do the same thing, some of you may not. You know, we'll see what happens. But I hope that's giving you a decent look so far. And like I always say, I'll see you on the other side of the next shot. Here they are from the back, and as we go in on them, again, you know, this is what I had to do with this guy. So as you can see on the back here, I had to get a little bit fancy. It's like some tucking. I actually tucked it into like where the neck spot is, like where the neck would insert, to get it a little bit tight from the back, so it would pull up more flat against the neck like the Proto. Obviously not as good as it should be, and I think even the color of the shirt is even a little bit different on this too. It's more gray, where I think in the Proto it might have been white. And if I'm incorrect, then I'm flashing the wrong picture here. But if I'm right, then all right, great. But I think maybe it was gray. But like I said, bunched up, you get that the art pick, which I think is like a, if I remember correctly, I think it's a horse or some shit on the side of his shirt. I could be 100% wrong, but I believe it was. I'm trying to zoom up on it. Okay guys, so here's the obviously the pictures from the back. These are the shirts from the back. It's got, you know, pretty close to accurate, you know, kind of print that Ted had on the or Bill had on the shirt. You also get the accurate art print that's on the or graphic that was on the shirt as well. And this is kind of what I had to do, guys. So you're gonna get a little bit of shake in the camera in a sec as I switch hands here. But what I had to do was kind of tuck it in through the back, like almost in where the shirt inserts, or the head inserts into the neck. I'm probably not getting on it as well as I could, but you kind of get the idea. So the shirt would pull up against the throat like the prototype pick, and then you know, sit a little bit more flush. But it sucks you have to do that, but the shirt is just too bulky, man. Again, I just don't know how hard it is to, you know, in a production piece to have measurements. And I mean, if you're printing them out, then, you know, just getting it right. It's just little things. But again, I think that's probably me nitpicking, you know, based on kind of what I'm used to in the custom hobby now. But it is what it is, you know. Then coming over here to Bill, you know, not as much futzing really needed with this guy. You know, jacket is decent tailoring, no crazy big buttons or anything on it. Shirts are pretty accurate to the film. You know, generally, you know, that's it from the side, I mean, from the back anyway. The sculpt on the hair, I think, on this too became like a little bit too tight and small. Definitely changed a little. I think that also affected the look, and then the eyes too. You know, if you guys were, you know, remember the front piece, I didn't mention that, but the eyes are also changed. The nose even, I think. You know, repaint could fix it, but you know, it's up to you guys what you want to do with your sets when you get them. This is obviously the only Bill and Ted set, in 1.6 right now that's, worth a damn. So unless they come out with a custom set in the future, which I don't know if it's going to happen, you never know. I'm holding on to these, I guess, for now. And as always, let's kind of get into the specific accessories, which there aren't too much left because I've pretty much shown you most of them here already, but I'll give you definitely a better look at the telephone as well. And like I said, go from there. Alright, so accessories. Obviously you saw the phone booth. Sorry, the phone booth. Yeah, I wish it came with the phone booth. The telephone. It's a shame it really didn't come with the phone booth. I would have paid an extra $1.50 for the proper phone booth that would have came with it. I mean, as far as accessories, that's an ultimate accessory, man. I mean, I would have rather had that than this. It makes more sense. I mean, I don't know why they did it. Who knows how much money Blitzway already had invested in the run as far as what they were trying to accomplish. I don't know. But that, I think, is a major fail for them and a major missed opportunity, because that, out of all the accessories, man, I mean, come on. You got to have the fucking phone booth. You have to. But at least they did this. At least they added the telephone, the old payphone style, which is cool. I mean, you can even kit bash a little bit and use it for some other things if you want to. Obviously, the phone handle does come off. It's not static, which is nice. And then also something that I did not know, it actually lights up too. So I don't have the batteries in, but the batteries go in through the back, and then this button, this part right here that you normally open and then have all the coins come out, is actually the button. You would actually press that in, it would light up, and then the star symbol and then the pound sign buttons that would normally be on a payphone or even a regular telephone light up. So that's cool. It takes those smaller batteries. I forget what you actually call them. They're like C batteries or something like that. I forget. They're the flat, they're like the size of a dime, size of a penny. They basically go in the back, and that's that. And then you obviously get some hands as well. All the hands are the same for each character. You get the guitar hand, the one that I have that you probably saw in there, that is holding the bar of the guitar, and good paint. You see the creases in the knuckles, the veins. It's really good. And you get each character, you get a open palmed hand as well. Again, good wrinkling, creases, paint out, veining. It's a shame the damn sculpts didn't come out as good as the fucking hands. Like, that's just crazy. It blows me away, man. I mean, Bill, great head sculpt, but the paint's off. Definitely it's not as light as it should be. A little darker, like he got sunburned kind of to a degree. It's a shame. Yeah, but it is what it is. Like I said, overall, still a good set. Each get a fingers crossed hand as well to give you more dynamic and variety in posing. And then all of them also get an open gripped, basic hand that you see comes with all your figures, essentially, base figure sets, whether or not they're action, Marvel base figures, Hot Toys, whatever, it's your standard kind of close grip fisted hand. And then both obviously also get the hand holding the guitar pick, which is nice. So you can pull off those air guitar poses, and you've got one for Bill and you've got one for Ted. So this is the silver one. Again, good paint apps. The whatchamacallit, the guitar pick is already stationed in there. It does not move. And just be careful, as far as what you do. You don't want to end up losing that, or screwing it up or something and popping out, because you lose that fucker, man, you're going to be in trouble. So be careful. And then this is the other one. And again, very good paint apps, man, on the fucking hands. More devotion was placed to the paint apps on the hands than the actual head sculpts. Like, I don't know, the hands look good. And then you get the backpack too, obviously. I don't know if the weathering is coming through on that. Hopefully it is. You can actually see some of the weathering. You got the patches and slash stickers. I don't know if any of you guys used to do that. I used to iron some of the patches onto my book bags. Some kids even do it now as well. And not really any weathering on the back per se, but on the front you can definitely see it's coming through. And then two more accessories. And the last two accessories, gotta have the Wild Stallions album. So that's pretty cool. I like that they added this. It does also open, and then the disc, hopefully that's coming in for you. And the disc also does come out too, believe it or not. There you go. That's cool. I like that they did that. So that also comes out as well. Pretty cool, man. And then the other last accessory is a little bit of a bigger accessory. So what I'm going to do is actually pan out a little bit, and then so I can show you the whole thing. So again, that's the CD case. It's pretty cool. I like that they added that. And then last but not least, I don't want to forget this too as well. You get the Quiet Please while Stal's recording. Obviously that was in the garage, if I remember correctly. And, I just forgot I got the disc still laying out here. I don't want to lose that shit. And last but not least, this as well. Hopefully this is coming up. This was in the garage as well. I think they had that on the back, on one of the walls. So this is cool. It's all coming through. I don't know if I went back far enough to give you guys the full span of it. So that's cool they added that too, man. I mean, this is probably wide enough you could probably get it in a detolf and actually have it up maybe on the back of the detolf behind it, which would actually be pretty cool. So, nice addition. Again, I wish they would have came at us with the phone booth. Instead, I would have rather given this up, and honestly, all the accessories almost, except for the guitar and whatnot, those the hands with the guitar picks, but I would have given up this phone booth, even the CD in the backpack for the actual phone booth instead. I would have gladly have traded those out. So that's it as far as the accessories, guys. Okay, so let's close out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. You basically got what you wanted to see if you were on the fence or trying to make a decision on whether or not you wanted to basically buy these. Again, I'm sorry I didn't get in any dynamic poses, and kind of show you that, but I think I showed you at least, extra kind of what you get with the base set and what you can potentially do as far as the accessories and everything. So overall, again, just to recap everything, I think the tailoring is generally decent. I feel like they could put a little bit more effort into form-fitting the shirts. I mean, they obviously had a reference that they used for the prototypes, so I don't quite understand how things got changed, or they Blitzway just decided to say, hey, you know what, we're going to use a cheaper material, and we're not going to stick to what was there in the prototype, and it's going to come out the way it comes out, I guess. I mean, it came out a little bit more baggy. You don't notice it as much with Ted, but you do notice significantly with the shirt on Bill. I mean, it's puffy. It is not laid to the body like it should. The collar takes some work to get it to rest around the neck like it is in the protos. Obviously it's not make or break. I mean, you just got to mess with it a little bit. We're all used to doing that. Just adjust and then do what you have to do. The accessories themselves, the guitars, everything is pretty good. The pants, I think, were good. The shoes obviously aren't real cloth canvas, shit like that. They're obviously sculpted, 3D printed, and they don't have real laces in the shoes. That's all right. But overall, man, I think it's a good set. As I said, it comes down to the fact that this is going to be, if you're a 1/6 scale collector, the best rendition of Bill and Ted in 1/6 scale form. And whether or not someone decides to do customs at some point, if someone were to decide to do that, maybe it would be worth the money to kind of bump it up. And then I would maybe trade in this set, sell it, and then grab the custom set. Obviously, going to be a hell of a lot more. I mean, for a custom set of these two, you're probably looking at like anywhere from could be $2,500 to $3,000. And then you're looking at the accessories. Folks like Doggy Doc Designs or Robbie the Painter and whatnot, or Robbie Jones, he goes by. These are famous people up in, or well-known people in the 1/6 scale custom hobby that would probably put together those accessories for you. So you're probably looking, actually probably more, probably looking at 3,000 plus. It's possible. Could be a little under, could be over. Who knows? But as far as the 1/6 scale versions of these out right now, they are the best out. So I will be hanging on to these. It's a good set for the price. $400, I think. Sideshow has the double set for, and considering what you get for accessories, 2 figures, and everything, you're looking at $200 a piece. I mean, a single Hot Toys figure goes for what, $225, $250 plus now. I mean, at launch, as far as some of the more mainstream 1/6 collectibles. So this is a pretty good win, I think, for the most part. It's a decent set. Light it right, pose them right. And I think most people will be happy with this. Again, the paint apps, the sculpt on Bill is good. but looks like he got fucking burnt in a suntanning booth. A little too dark. And the hair, man, I mean, it lost the appeal on the dirty blonde hair I think he had in the film. It's more gray-brown. You know, and then obviously Bill, you know, the head sculpt, they definitely dropped the ball on it as far as the pre or post production. And I already talked about how that just perplexes me, because as a production manager or whoever was in charge, you know, it's not like you're saying print fucking 20 heads at a time and then show me what you're doing. You just do one, man, at a time, and let me reference it. And if it's wrong, I'm going to tell you it's wrong and then move on. It just, I don't know, in my mind, these things seem like easy fixes. But I don't know, maybe there was other factors involved, and that's why they still came out the way they did. You know, I just don't understand it. You know, I would imagine someone's going to the factory or touching base with these people and saying, hey, show me a reference of the first head so we don't go into mass production on these, and there's all kinds of variations, or you know, Ted's head sculpt does not come out looking as good as the prototype, you know, and so on. So, you know, it is what it is, guys. But anyway, overall, like I said, I'm happy. I think it's worth it. So, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. You know, folks who know me know how to hit me up. Comment on the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys at the next video. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but we will, I don't know, we'll see. We'll figure it out. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and you know, hit the like button, because the more you like these videos, the more they become visible and whatnot. And you can share them, do what you got to do, get them out there. And again, like I said, I don't do this for fun. I don't do this for fun. I don't do this for money or whatnot. I do it because it's fun. Hence why I've gotten into the 1/6 scale custom hobby more, not because of you know, for views per se, but because that's what I've been getting into more, as far as like quality and as far as what's being put out there. So as far as what I like anyway. So that's why I've kind of switched over to that. But it was nice to do a kind of traditional review again. And it's a decent set. So, all right, guys. See you at the next video. Deuces.